Hi everybody, thanks for pressing play on my video today. It's Caroline here from craftycarolinecreates.blogspot.co.uk. Camera is up super high today in order for me to fit in today's project, which is a full-size bottle of wine, so a 70 centilitre bottle of wine wrapped in this gorgeous handmade box. Wrap, whatever you want to call it. I think it is a really gorgeous way of prettying up a bottle of wine that you're going to give to somebody as a gift. It's a unique and different way to sort of those wine bags that we always seem to use, or I always seem to use, because making a handmade bag for a full-size bottle of wine is difficult because of the dimensions of the bottle. I hope you agree this really makes it look a little bit special. So let's get on and see how we made it. Okay, so we're starting with a piece of cardstock on our scoreboard. This measures 12 inches by 11 inches, so I have trimmed that down slightly from a 12 by 12 sheet. And we are going to start by scoring with the 12-inch section along the top. And we're going to score this at 2 inches and at 10 inches. Okay. Then we are going to rotate that 90 degrees, so we have our 11-inch section at the top. And we're going to do quite a bit of scoring, so stick with me, and all of these dimensions will be over on the blog. So we are going to start at 1 3/4 of an inch, at 3.5 inches, okay, at 5.25 inches, at 7 inches, at 8 3/4 of an inch, and at 10.5 inches. Okay. Then what we are going to do is we're just going to put some little notches along the top. The first one is going to be at 7/8 of an inch, so just a tiny little notch. Next one is 2 5/8 of an inch. Then at 4 3/8 of an inch, at 6 1/8 of an inch, 7 7/8 of an inch, and 9 5/8 of an inch. And those are just going to be in the centre of those squares along the top. Okay, you see those little notches that I've made there. Okay, put the scoreboard away. And we are going to fold and burnish along all of our score lines. Okay, so there's quite a few of them to do. I did try making this in designer series paper, because I know not everybody has 12 by 12 cardstock, but I just found it was just a little bit too flimsy. You do need to use cardstock to get that additional weight to support the bottle. So I would recommend you do this using cardstock. Did I do this one? Yeah, I think I did. Okay, so that is everything scored and burnished. What we are going to do now is come in and cut up each of these lines along the bottom, just up to where it meets the score line. And the very short bit at the end we are going to cut off. Okay, so cut there, and there, and there, and there, and the very last one is there. Spin that round and do exactly the same on the other end. Okay. There you go. And at the very last one, just like on the other end, we are going to trim off that flappy bit there. Okay, now we are going to decorate this up, and what I have done is I have taken Flowering Flourishes, which is a really good sort of background creating stamp, and I took this really large image here and I stamped that all over a sheet of Whisper White A4 cardstock, and then I cut that up into 6 strips like this. Each of these measure 1.5 inch by 8 3/4 of an inch, that's right. And what we are going to do is we're going to stick one of these on each of our panels as we go along. So I'm just going to use a little bit of Tombow on the back of each of those. Okay. Tombow, and then we can stick it down. Just try and get these centered and lined up equally at the top and bottom. Okay, you don't need to worry about the pattern continuing. I mean, you could if you wanted to be really perfectionist, but you know me, I'm a quick crafter, so I like amazing results in minimal time. There we go. Moving along. Nearly there. There we go, and then our last one here. Okay, so you see we just stuck one of those panels on each of a section of our box that we have created. Now I'm going to pay my attention back to these little notches that we made. Can you see those? I think you can see those. And what I'm going to do is use that as sort of the center to cut from that little notch down to the edge where I trimmed on both sides. Okay, so you can see I'm making a triangle from each of those. So I'm going to do that on each section. Okay, so I'm going from my notch down to the edge. Okay. You could of course do this using a trimmer, and I mean you can draw the lines on if you want to be really precise and get these lines equally, but I think with some really sharp scissors like these ones from Stampin' Up, you can get really good results a lot quicker than that. Okay, so that's the last one. Let's move those scraps out of the way, and what you have is a box net that looks something like this. Now I'm going to bring in, this is the largest of the handheld punches that Stampin' Up do. I think this does a 1/4 of an inch hole, and in the middle of each of these triangles I am going to punch a hole. Just again going to do it by eye, about that far down each one. Okay. Try and get it as centered as you can in the triangle. And our last one, there we go. Okay, now we're ready to build our box up. So I'm going to start by putting some adhesive along this small little flap here. I'm going to use Fast Fuse. I will bring that in, and just a strip of fuse all the way along that section there. Okay, now because our box is symmetrical, like on all our symmetrical boxes, all we need to do is fold that over and that should press down nicely. You can see how that is now going to pop up. Okay, I'm just going to lift the camera up a little bit more because it's getting quite big now, so you can't see too well. It's a bit better. It fits in a bit better now. Okay, now what I find is easiest to do is to pop your bottle of wine in now. So this is my bottle of wine, a very nice Cab Sav from Napa. That is going to go into the bottom of our box, and you should find that the box should fit down very snugly around your bottle, and it will pop out the top just like that. Okay, I think I said earlier this is a pretty standard bottle shape that I'm using it for. I think it has, I'll check the diameter of the bottom. I think it's about a 3-inch diameter on the bottom of the bottle. So just hold that up so you get the shape that you want. and then we are going to start gluing these pieces down. So I'm going to use Tombow again. Now this, you do need to put quite a bit of glue on because this is what is going to hold sort of the weight of your bottle in there. So first, put some glue on it. Look how it's going to fold down, and then put the glue on that section, okay? So you're basically putting glue on the second half of each of your flaps like that, and then fold it over, okay? And I like to sort of go round in a circle, doing one at a time. Okay, a bit more up there. So fold it up, and where your flap is going to overlap, that's where you want to put your Tombow. Okay, and you want to, as I said, put quite a bit of glue liberally on there because you do want this to stay stuck together, because this is going to hold the weight of your box. And then the last one, you want to put glue all over the flap. Okay. And that would close up like that. So if we stand it up, we can see, I'm going to angle you up a little bit. Does that work without showing too much of my kitchen? There we go. Let's go up a little bit more. How is that? Kind of need the camera to be the other way around, don't we? Okay, so you can see how we've made our bottle cover there. Nice and navy coordinates very nicely with the label on my bottle. And what we are going to do now is bring in some of this gorgeous Whisper White satin ribbon. I use this a lot. It's really lovely from Stampin' Up. Just going to cut the end at a bit of an angle there, and that will make it easier for me to thread through each of these holes in turn. So I'm going to start by finding out where your join is. Now it's not always easy to see, actually, it's here. So I want to start the opposite end of where the join is, because that's effectively going to be the back of our box. But where we want to go in with a ribbon is going to be the start. So we're going to go under and out. So thread this round. Okay. So in through the top, out through the back of each of our triangles. Okay. Pull a bit more through if you need it, as we sort of weave all the way round, you know, until we get back to the beginning, back to where we started. Here we go. There we go. And then just pull that tight, and you'll see how it pulls in. Maybe I should have done a contrasting colour, but you can see how that pulls in the triangle section. Just going to trim off my ribbon there, sorry about that. Move this out of the way, and then you are ready just to tie that off in a pretty bow or a flat knot. I think we're going to go for a flat knot because my bow tying abilities, that doesn't look good. Let's try a bow. I've cut my tails a little bit short. There we go, doesn't look too bad, does it? Maybe. Trim off the tails. I'm sure you can make it look a lot prettier. I'll make it look prettier for the photographs. And just to finish it off, I've got a scrap of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to use a whole lot of Lovely, which is a fabulous hostess set you can get at the moment if you spend over £150. Or, of course, if you host a party and the sales come to more than £150, you can get that for free based on your friend's spend. Night of Navy ink pad, just going to pull that in. If you are in Manchester and would like to host a party, do get in touch. It would be my pleasure to come and show you some Stampin' Up goodies. So ink that up. I think I've just caught that with my finger. And just going to stamp that out. Look at that. Oh, off the camera, sorry about that. So I stamped that nicely off camera. Then I have the 1 3/4 inch circle punch that coordinates perfectly with our stamped image. See, like that? I'm just going to stamp that out. And then I'm going to use 2 dimensionals. Few dimensionals. Come back into shots because I'm up higher than normal. And I'm just going to stick that just in the middle there, that section. And there we go, a really lovely way to wrap a bottle of wine. I think it makes a fantastic alternative to the typical wine bags that you see, and you can make it using one sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or you'd like to buy any Stampin' Up products, please do not hesitate to get in touch. See you later, bye bye.